controversy behind the scenes as we prepare for this recording. We'll see if it leaks over into what we end up releasing. Never know. I just find out when I do the editing later. Peter has a not so critical update. This is disastrous. I feel like I screwed up this whole thing. Let's just go.
Right, before we start this, I want to say that some of my best friends are from Israel, okay? So, this is a story about...
You can't start with that disclaimer.
That's like the disclaimer that everyone makes before they say racist stuff.
Throwing it out there.
I just want to be upfront. I'm about to say something racist.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there is a spy firm, called that is distributing from Israel. It just happened to be from Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're another massive spyware company like NSO Group, and they've been seen in the world, but we don't know exactly what malware is exploiting this iPhone flaw. But they're using the same flaw as NSO Group did, and NSO Group, if you don't remember, or don't care or didn't care at the time, is a big company, happens to be from Israel, that was used to they sell services to governments and to private individuals to basically hack other people's phones, and they were used to compromise some journalist phones not too long ago.
That was Pegasus spyware, right? Was NSO?
Yes.
Was that Pegasus?
Yes. They have it's a commercial product that they sell. They have brochures about it and the capabilities and the kind of like how it can affect a phone and what capabilities it's got for like key logging and phone recording and geolocation tracking and all that kind of stuff. And this other company uses a thing called RAIN, as in the Reign of Terror. And it's horrible, really. So yeah, that's the story pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
John,
so
what do you
I
have to
guess
say about this?
one thing, I just want to say one thing, which I find kind of interesting.
To Israel, right?
What?
Nothing. Carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, I do have ties to Israel.
Okay, right.
That's on the record for sure. I've lived there, grew up there, half Israeli, and
I call that ties.
Yeah, strong ties, and I believe that it is unfair to the country to say something like an Israeli spyware company, because it doesn't actually matter that they're from Israel. This is a classic click bait tactic to put something like, we had another one. I don't remember. It wasn't Israel, but it was like
the victim was from
immigrant.
Iran or something.
Right. An Iranian person in America was the victim. And it's like, why are we saying that he's Iranian? Why does it matter if it's an Israeli company or an Iranian individual? They're just a company. They're just a shit company, right? Or he's just a good person. We don't need to identify them by their nationalities, because by doing so, it kind of feels a little bit discriminatory towards the rest. We're not going to say an American
to all the other
company.
hackers, to all the other evil spyware companies from other countries in the world. Like, what we're doing is we're forgetting about the German spyware companies. And
actually,
and the
because
American
if it was a German spyware company or a British one or an American one, chances are high that it would just be a spyware company. That's the title.
Okay. True.
That's
maybe.
Are there any German spyware?
I feel like Reuters isn't going to report on the American spyware company.
Well, it's just assumed you're American if you're not from someplace else, obviously.
Of course. An international news organization like Reuters will just assume that you're American.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I was being sarcastic. I think that you were too. I'm not sure. No. But back to the point of this company and the shit that they're doing. Is it bad? It's terrible. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Especially because they don't even care where they sell their products to. And that's the most dangerous part, is when a country like Saudi Arabia or Turkey,
they can sell it outside of Israel.
Oh, for sure. No problem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Israel has, I think Israel definitely has issues with them doing so, because to some company or countries, that might actually be what?
They can't have that big an issue with it, can they? Because they're still doing it.
Well, they might also be cutting a deal under the table and say, Israeli intelligence might be like, okay, you can sell to them, but like, put a back door in there for us. Or they could be like, give us free credits for 2 years or something. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
You have to understand that the way Israel as a country is designed is everyone serves in the military. Israel has arguably the largest intelligence unit or portion of their military in the world, right? They have an elite unit specifically for offensive hacking operations.
Yeah.
So all of these people are graduating or finishing their service and then going and working at companies like this or founding companies like this.
Yeah. Interesting side thing that we're not going to cover this week, but Poland has just created its first cyber warfare division as part of the military.
So is it just like a Pentium 4 and an old dude? Or sorry.
Now who's being discriminatory? Oh my God! All this big spiel about we've got to be fair to all the other countries, and then straight in there with an Eastern European joke. I mean, come on, mate. I mean,
hey, I love Poland. I think think that
Polish as well. Yeah.
No, that would be weird because that math wouldn't add up.
Well, we don't know. We would never mention any other parts. Wait, hang on. Where am I going with this? Moving on. Yes, Poland have created their first cyber warfare division, and there was a big ceremony about it and everything. And they are explicitly enabled to to research and take part in offensive capabilities online.
Oh, so they're allowed to hack back, basically.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Not even hack back. They can start hacking before they even get hacked.
Yeah, they just do it. Yeah.
Which Peter mentions
nice.
to bolster his prediction that we are headed for thermonuclear war in 2022.
Yeah, thermo in there now too. Nice.
Yeah, I like
just
that.
cyber
Thank you very
nuclear
much for adding that.
Thermal hydronuclear war.
Yes, it is now cyber thermo hydronuclear war. Thank you, John.
Very cool. Yeah. We'll see where we'll definitely report back on Poland and their Pentium
Cyber warfare division.
Cyber warfare division.
Here's another interesting thing about the Eastern Europe, right? They actually there's a whole bunch of really smart people over there, and an interesting side effect of communism, where a lot of the Western technologies were banned, like IBM PCs, that Eastern Europe was, that's even in itself, that term is a bit discriminatory. Eastern and Central Europe, the communist countries were forced
to... you mean during the Soviet era, are you referring to? Yeah. Sure.
So they were forced to re-implement or reinvent all the Intel chips and everything at the time. And they had to create them themselves and, reverse engineer how all this stuff worked. Mm-hmm. And it created a culture of hackers that kind of persisted to now. And a lot of really smart people there have this this kind of the community and the culture of just building shit themselves. So you joke about the Pentium 4, but actually I would not be surprised if they're pretty good.
No discredit towards Eastern European countries and their citizens.
Joking about their Pentium 4 is not discrediting.
Well, I think I'm allowed to shit on an arguably shitty government. And their capabilities. But I'm not saying that Polish citizens or Polish hackers are to be discredited. Yeah. I think some of the coolest hacks on earth came from Eastern Europe, and Eastern countries.
That's
not Polish. I don't think
no.
Maybe
Polish,
I don't speak
Polish. I speak a little bit of Czech. I tried to impress a Polish barmaid once when I come back from Prague the first time, and I spent a whole afternoon, whole evening. No, she, because Polish and Czech sound the same, but they're completely different languages. And there's a couple of words which are similar. And I spent the whole evening trying to impress this barmaid with my broken Czech, which is really bad. And she didn't understand a word I said all evening. And at the end, she said, by the way, I'm Polish. I didn't understand anything, but spoke great English. I just was, it's terrible. One of the most embarrassing evenings of my life.
That's really funny. You know what's really fun is when you catch someone talking shit about you in a language you speak.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
You know what's not fun?
Very fun.
Is talking shit about someone in a different language, and they tell you they understand what you said in that language. Let me tell you, I've been on both sides. I've been on both sides.
Oh, please, I want to know about that.
It is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me, but also the most empowering thing if you're on the right side.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I only speak English.
Right. Easy.
Cut.
And everyone speaks it.
That's the cut. That's why I only speak English. That's got to be it.